Kyle trying to build those turrets as fast as he can, but not able to do it. Looks like he's just going to move down here and try and expand. He does have quite a few of these Marines. Stim now finished on those Marines, and the +1 armor just now coming up. It looks like OpTiKzErO might actually scout this party, and here it comes. Those units could take a lot of damage. A couple of those Phoenixes going down for OpTiKzErO. He might be able to spot this drop here, no problem, as long as he reacts appropriately. Looks like Kyle might be trying to drop here, try and take out as many probes as he can, and really that's the play that he needs to be doing. Drop as many of those probes as he can. It looks like he might be doing it. You see the scan going down there for Kyle, so he's going to do a double octo drop, just dropping in the back here, trying to do a lot of damage. OpTiKzErO's base might get caught a little bit out of position here. Here comes all these units dropping down. Taking a look at the unit counting station, evening out a little bit here, trying to move off and do as much damage as possible. There comes that one Colossi out, going to do some damage here. Looks like he might be able to pick off that robotics bay, and there it goes down. Kyle now lifting off all those units. Needs to be careful. Those Phoenixes could pick off the medevacs without too much of a problem. Only 3 Vikings left trying to do the damage, and there you go. Kyle now dropping off all those units. OpTiKzErO, had he picked those off, would have had a significant advantage. Right now, the army value in favor of OpTiKzErO, but the fact that robotics bay is no longer there is going to be a big deal. No Colossi are capable of coming out for OpTiKzErO, so he's going to have to wait for those units to pop out, and it looks like Kyle is going to take this opportunity and go ahead and expand and get out of expansion as quickly as possible. In the meantime, OpTiKzErO continuing to harass with those Phoenixes, just trying to get control of the map all over the place. Really, Kyle right now just trying to put on as much pressure as possible. You see the orbital command coming down here. I'd like to see him place it in that gold, and that looks like exactly what he's going to do. So both players basically the same place on expansion here. Looks like those missile turrets are trying to keep those Phoenixes at bay. Coming in here for more damage to that missile turret, getting a few shots off, bringing the shields down of OpTiKzErO, and now wow, taking it out there. Kyle bringing out those Thors to try and deal with those Phoenixes. Phoenixes, of course, cannot lift Thors off, and here comes another pick from that Thor, so a great job there by Kyle to go ahead and switch to that. A couple more Phoenixes out right now, and Kyle dealing with this air pressure without too much of a problem. He needs to be careful right here, though. He does have quite a few of those Marines, and here they come, taking down a lot of OpTiKzErO's Phoenixes. Only one Phoenix remaining right now for OpTiKzErO, so really doing a lot of damage. Taking a look at the army value, Kyle back on top, and OpTiKzErO looks like his robotics bay is just now starting to rebuild. He has no Colossi in production right now, only 3 Colossi on the board, and Kyle looks like he might be trying to put on some pressure again. You see that Thor coming up, trying to do some, will be trying to do some damage with that Thor, no doubt. And don't be surprised to see him drop in the back of the base here. Looks like Kyle is starting to catch up on those probes. Only 12 probes behind now, and another command center going down for Kyle, trying to expand as aggressively as he can and keep that SCV count up, as he has been down from it the whole game. And here we go now. Kyle gearing up for another drop, lifting up all those medevacs. He's got 4 full medevacs right now, and leaving a lot of those units behind. I would like to see if he goes ahead and brings those back, doing some damage to the probe line here. Looks like Kyle might be stemming forward, trying to take out as many of those buildings as he can. He might be able to focus down those pylons and do a lot of damage, trying to hit those Nexus, but those Colossi are in range right now and taking a lot of damage. Kyle would like to pick those up. Looks like he's picking up all those units. Oh no, a fully loaded medevac going down for Kyle right now. Those Phoenixes are getting dropped, and those Colossi now doing a lot of damage to the units of Kyle. This drop has been relatively unsuccessful. A lot of Thors back here not able to do that much damage, as they weren't able to join in the fight. Looks like another medevac is going to be going down, so OpTiKzErO now holding that off very, very nicely. Taking a look at the army value, OpTiKzErO now with a significant advantage, so this game running back and forth. Looks like Kyle is going to try and put on some pressure here, and this is exactly what he needs to do. Move around the map, try and keep the pressure on, and catch OpTiKzErO out of position. This army is much significantly better if OpTiKzErO attacks all at one time. Those Colossi will be able to melt a lot of those infantry unit for Terran, but it looks like Kyle has done a nice job distracting OpTiKzErO. OpTiKzErO completely out of position for this attack, and now Kyle is going to be able to push forward and do a lot of damage. Looks like a lot of probes will be taken down. You see all those units stemming forward, trying to do as much damage to those probes as possible. OpTiKzErO trying to warp in as many units as he can, forced to pull back here and deal with this. It looks like Kyle is going to be focusing down that Nexus, and that Nexus will fall. The army just a little bit too late for OpTiKzErO, doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough. OpTiKzErO now down a base, and that's going to be a significant deal here. We do see the army value leveling out for both players. And now Kyle just trying to put on the early pressure, and that's exactly what he needs to do. OpTiKzErO will be caught out of position quite often, as he can, as OpTiKzErO, or excuse me, Kyle can move around the map very, very frequently and very, very easily. It looks like Kyle or OpTiKzErO though are ready to put on some pressure, and it's going to be close here. He needs to be Kyle needs to be sure not to engage this army head on, and OpTiKzErO would love to see that happen. Here he comes pushing up, and now pulling a lot of SCVs, tons of SCVs coming up for Kyle. He is a little bit ahead here, and now stemming all these units forward, trying to pick off the Colossi and doing a nice job surrounding him. You see all those Colossi falling very, very quickly. Kyle with the upgrade advantage right now, +2 armor to +1 attack and +1 armor for OpTiKzErO, so a great job splitting that army up and taking out those Colossi in the back. Kyle now in a significant advantage. Taking a look at the army value, way ahead. Kyle is way, way ahead, a little bit behind on that probe count as he pulled so many SCVs to defend that attack, but that's going to be okay. You see all these mules dropping down into the gold, and now OpTiKzErO, or Kyle, really looking to put on some pressure. You see him dropping those Vikings down, doing a lot of damage, and supplementing this army very, very nicely with those couple of Thors. And OpTiKzErO really doesn't feel that good about moving out here. We are going to see that Dark Shrine started. Where is that Dark Shrine? Somewhere in the base of OpTiKzErO. There it is, about half of the way finished. And right now, it's looking grim for our Protoss opponent. Looks like Kyle, again, has scouted this base, would like to be able to pick off this Nexus, but I think those probes are going to be able to do enough damage to fend that off. Either way, Kyle really, really in a fantastic position, evening out that drogue count, and you see now expanding all over the map. And now OpTiKzErO, this base is extremely undefended. You see all these units coming for that base, would love to take it down, and OpTiKzErO just going to pull back, or excuse me, Kyle all just going to pull back here, try and keep that lead the best he can. You see the +3 weapons armor or weapons upgrade going down right now, and OpTiKzErO needs to be very careful. He has charged zealots and that thermal lance Colossi now, so OpTiKzErO really, or excuse me, Kyle, I'm getting those names wrong all the time, but Kyle really looking to put on some pressure here. You're going to see him completely take out that Nexus, and now a probe transfer huge coming up for OpTiKzErO. I don't know what these probes are doing. They need to be very careful not to lose themselves here, and Kyle now looking to put on some pressure. OpTiKzErO does spot it and is on his way back to deal with it, but Kyle really in a fantastic position. You see that one Ghost is there, an EMP already, and here comes some Dark Templar now to put on some pressure. Looks like a scan might be going out for Kyle. There he goes, the scan coming down here, and more pressure coming on. OpTiKzErO going to be caught again way out of position, and this is going to be huge as Kyle will be able to put on all of that pressure. Here he comes lifting off those Vikings. Would love to see some damage come out. Looks like he needs to be careful. That Dark Templar not just now falling, and those Colossi doing a lot of damage from up on top of the hill. Those charged zealots getting in, trying to do as much damage as possible, but Kyle with that +2 weapons upgrade, gonna do tons of damage. You see those Colossi falling, and there's the GG from OpTiKzErO. So Kyle doing a nice job splitting his army up and putting the pressure to OpTiKzErO. So a great third game. Kyle now ahead 2-1. Guys, this has been a cast from SC2Janitor. If you're enjoying these casts, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to see you do that. And don't forget to send your replays into SC2Janitor@gmail.com to get a good chance to have them put on this YouTube channel, guys. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Game 4.